A netizen shared about a book published in December of 2020 called Black Lives Matter at School. According to the New York Times, this book is an important resource for teaching about race and racism at schools. Some commentators have felt that this is another signal that the influence of the Black Lives Matter movement has gone way beyond merely organizing protests on the streets, but instead, and in this case, it has already been extended into the K-12 educational system. A netizen shared a video clip from a school board meeting. According to reports, some members of the Oakley Union Elementary School District Board of Education thought that they were speaking in a private virtual meeting. They used expletives while speaking about parents and reopening classrooms. It wasn't until about remarks about parents were made that they realized the meeting was actually public and the parents were actually listening alongside.
Yeah.
Bitch, if you're gonna call me out, I'm gonna fuck you up. Sorry, that's just me.
You know, they forget that there's real people on the other side of those letters that they're writing.
Yes.
We're real community members. We have kids or have known kids that have gone to these schools.
My brother had a delivery. Yeah, my brother had a delivery service for medical marijuana. The high clientele were parents with their kids in school.
A netizen shared that back in late February, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to pass the Equality Act, which, according to NPR, is, quote, a bill that would ban discrimination against people based on sexual orientation and gender identity. It would also substantially expand the areas to which those discrimination protections apply. This is one of the bills that Biden said on the campaign trail that would be one of his top legislative priorities for the first 100 days of his presidency. Now that the bill is in the Senate and its fate is unclear, a netizen commented saying that this Equality Act may result in the greatest inequality in those who are born to be women. A netizen shared this video clip showing a mother guiding his young son as he reads through a book called The Gay BCs.
B is for bye. C is for coming out. D is for drag. E is for equality. G is for gay. H is for hope. I is for intersex. J is for troll. L is for lesbian. M is for Latin. N is for non-binary. O is for orientation. P is for trans. Q is for I don't know what Q. Okay, Q is for queer. Queer. R is for tech. S is for sachet. T is for trans. Okay. U is for unique. V is for rogue. You know how to vote? Yeah, you do? Yeah. That was pretty good. W is for wonder. X is for X. Y is for U. And Z is for Zen. Vest. Vest. E-N. What was the name of this book? The Gay BCs. You like this book? Yeah.
A netizen replied saying that it came as a real surprise that this kid started to learn about the LGBTQ vocabularies at such a young age. A netizen shared this video clip from an interview that the founder of Young Americans Against Socialism, Morgan Zegers, did with the American Thought Leaders program at the Epoch Times. She shared about the impact of socialism on the U.S. educational system.
Socialists and communists have used kids against their parents and against their family members to report on their parents if they're talking bad about the government behind their backs. And it happened in China, it happened in the USSR, but what I'm seeing in America is it's not just cancel culture in the political theater anymore. It's not just on Twitter, the political people attacking each other. When we think of what we learned about in the education system, when I was going through high school, I did not learn about the history of these regimes in the sense that they came with promises of progress, with promises of changing and fighting for the working class, fighting for the people. That's how these terrible totalitarian, authoritarian regimes begin. And we really need to make a connection of those dots for my generation. They don't actually want to implement socialism. They've probably never heard the definition of socialism in terms of seizing the means of production or nationalizing a major industry. But they still say that they want to do it. And so I am focusing on really making that clear to them. And unfortunately, we haven't felt the direct threat of socialism. My generation has never felt that threat. And so that's why we're more willing to hear out the left right now. My biggest thing thing to say is stick to your local community if you're not sure exactly what to do, but you want to get involved and you're very concerned. Go to the school board meetings. Make sure that the 1619 project is not being implemented in your community, in your school.
A netizen shared a quote from George Orwell's 1984. It said, "So long as they continue to work and breed, the other activities were without importance. Left to themselves like cattle turned loose upon the plains of Argentina, they had reverted to a style of life that appeared to be natural to them, a sort of ancestral pattern. Heavy physical work, the care of home and children, petty quarrels with neighbors, films, football, beer, and above all, gambling filled up the horizon of their minds. To keep them in control was not difficult."
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high